Hello, welcome to Dutch Girls Podcast. I'm your host Justin. So today we have another horror movie review for you guys. Today it's 2016's The Girl with All the Gifts. It's 1 hour and 51 minutes. It's directed by Colm McCarthy, starring Gemma Arterton as Helena Justino, Senya Nanua as Melanie, Glen Close as Dr. Caroline Codwell, Paddy Considine as Sergeant Eddie Parks, Visao Akane as Kieran Gallagher, and you have music by Cristobal Tavia de Ver. Don't know who that is. So this is a UK zombie film. I didn't watch this movie back in the day because it just looked like a ripoff of The Last of Us, which I know this movie is based off a book, but yeah, the people did the math, and like the book was written around the time that The Last of Us was coming out, had come out, so it wouldn't be too big of a leap to say, hey, this probably ripped it off, which obviously it does. Even the ending to this film rips off The Last of Us. But the reason why I watched this movie is because one of my favorite movie critics, Mark Herman, loves this movie, and I saw his Army of the Dead review, and his basic criticism for Army of the Dead, it was basically, it wasn't The Girl with All the Gifts. So I'm like, okay, I have to see this movie then. Which is such a dumb criticism. Like, oh my god, like, it's, apparently he's like, it was like, oh, it was such a revolutionary original film. It's like, buddy, you're a fucking boomer, you don't play video games, you're out of the loop, man. Like this is, and like, even like, I've seen like reviews where people are like, hey man, this movie obviously rips off the last of Us, but of course, boomer old man, right? So I watched the film, and like I said, it's the thing where I could see people loving this film, right? I would see like female horror fans loving this movie. This movie was obviously, it's basically, it feels like a female young adult novel, but like, but as a horror film, and that's basically the audience for this film. And I obviously, not being someone who's not a fan of female YA novels, I did not like the movie at all. But I could see why people would love this film. But the movie is very telegraphed. Even if you didn't know that this movie was a Last of Us ripoff, you could tell by the way they telegraph stuff, that like they do these like red herrings where, like, okay, these obvious red herrings where you can obviously what's going to happen next, right? Which the story for this movie is basically, it takes place in the post-apocalypse, where you have this zombie outbreak that spread through fungi and pollen. Well, sorry, the zombie virus is pollen-like, right? Hence the Last of Us ripoff. And you have this military facility where they have these second generation zombies that are young children that are different than the regular zombies, where they're like self-aware, right? And they're keeping them there to educate them and to perform experiments with them. What ends up happening is the base gets overrun by zombies, which, like I said, they did a very, well, I would say that was the one red herring where they were doing it very subtle like, where like, oh, they said where like one guy just goes to the calmly to the guy who's in charge of the place, Sergeant Parks, hey, the fence is down, I'll use the flamethrowers, and yeah, you could tell like, oh, okay, this place is going down. Which it does. So what happens, like, a bunch of survivors, the female teacher, which is Gemma Arterton, who's like, you know, has like a maternal instinct for our main zombie girl, which is Melanie, who's super smart and knows everything. Glenn Close, who's the American doctor for some reason, and two soldiers, Sergeant Parks and Kieran Gallagher. They go on a journey to find safe safe haven from the zombies. End up running into a feral crowd of zombie hybrid children, kind of like our main protagonist Melanie. Which there's a scene where Karen Gallagher, spoiler alert, runs into one of the kids and she hands him she has like a rat in her hand, right? And she's trying to. It's super fucking obvious. She's trying to lure Gallagher into a trap, but it's like the male characters in this movie are so dumb, man. It's like, oh my god. It's the thing where, like, okay, if they hadn't shown us that that kid was part of this crowd that was out hunting for Gallagher, would we still have figured it out? Yes, because she's holding it out to him but is backing away. So it's obviously obvious that she's trying to lure him into something, right? Also, as a pet lover, I did not enjoy the movie at all because, one, Melanie kills and eats a black cat. Two, she finds this dog, which I'm a current dog owner right now. I used to have cats, now I'm a dog guy. And she finds this tiny, like, dog, which I don't know every dog breed. I think it's like a Scottish breed. I can't remember its name. I think it's a terrier. I'm not sure, but it's like the Scottish small dog, and she finds it huddled in like these blankets at this house where it's fucking living at, and she takes it. She grabs the dog and uses it as bait to lure a bunch of zombies off the street, so our characters can, escape this spot where they're trapped. And that really, like, wow, dude. Like, you couldn't find a rat, you couldn't find like a bird or something. You had to use a dog, man. It's like fucking bullshit film, right? And that really got to me, right? That really got to me. And then there's the end, right, where basically our characters pass by this tree made of the zombies this tower sorry, it's hard to explain this because, the virus is like plant-like, so a bunch of zombies basically form this like basically grow out these like trees out of their head around this tower, and these trees are like are growing vines all over this tower, and they have pods, right, which is to release pollen that will infect people in a mass area, right? So what ends up happening is she decides, our main character is given a choice to either sacrifice herself and save old humanity, or what she actually does is release the pollen by creating this fire, because like the pollen the pods will release the pollen if there's enough heat, right? So she releases pollen, and now everything is uninhabitable, and the teacher, Helen Justino, is now trapped inside the base and is forced to teach the kids, the zombie kids, under the protection or guidance of our main character Melanie. They're all being taught taught stuff, right? So it's basically the movie. It's just like, wow, dude, it's like, oh, sorry, so hard to explain, but it's like it's just like, wow, dude. Like, you wanted to prove, like, this girl wanted to prove to our human characters, hey, I'm just like you guys, but what does she do? She killed like two soldiers right away in the beginning of the film when the base was going down. She releases the pods, right? She releases the pods, fucking humanity in the back, and now is keeping, her favorite teacher hostage to fucking teach the next generation of zombie humanoids. So it's like, wow, dude. And people love this fucking film. Oy vey, this movie sucks. I'm giving it 4 out of 10. Though I think if you're a fan, I think this movie, if you're like a hippie or whatever, and you're into like, young female young adult stuff, I think you would like this film. That's what this film's crowd is for. But most of those girls that I know are into that are not really into like horror films and gore, which the movie is very gory by the way. So it's like, what a fucking clusterfuck this movie is. Yeah, 4 out of 10. Mark Herman, you're a fucking boomer. Fuck you.